Good morning and welcome to this edition of Stroke of Genius, where we talk about people with disabilities and their caregivers. So today we're going to talk more about caregivers and what it means to be a caregiver and maybe some things you should think about as you're approaching that caregiver mentality or whatever it is you're doing. You're there to serve someone else, but you want to make sure you're doing it the best you possibly can. So here's some ideas to think about as you go on about your day. Now, some of these I've gotten from different articles that were posted online, but this is a consolidation of what I think are really the top, let's say 7 or 8 different items that you want to have and want to keep in mind as you go on about your day as a caregiver. So there you go. That's the first. The first thing off is to take care of yourself. Now, that seems rather odd that we would be talking about, you're going to be taking caregiving someone else. And the first thing that I mentioned is to take care of yourself. Well, that's really the most important thing. It's much like the old adage or the old saying that, when you're in an airplane and they tell you to, when the mask drops out of the overhead compartment, that you put your mask on yourself first. Then you help someone else, a younger person. So that mentality is that you need to take care of yourself first. And the same way that you need to do that in your daily life. So you need to make sure you're eating healthy, maybe even healthier than you were before you started being a caregiver. You need to make sure you're getting exercise. Now, it doesn't always have to be running and going to the gym. It can be just taking a good walk, a good firm walk that will get your blood pressure going. That will help as well. And then the other thing that I would encourage you to do is to make all your appointments. So make your dentist appointment, your doctor's appointment, your eye doctor's appointment, all those appointments that you have. Continue to make them. Don't distract from them, because there are other people that can help out and give care when you're not around. So as long as you have that set in place. So think about how you can keep your appointments as well. Now, so that was number one. Number one, take care of yourself. Number 2, journal. And that's the big thing for us is when we have someone that's in the hospital, and usually it was me in the hospital, but we always journaled and we took notes on what the doctor said when they came around, what were the different prescriptions that we were getting, all this that helped us to understand what was going on. That way, when someone wasn't there, a different family member, they weren't there, they could be brought up to speed by just looking at the journal. That would be helpful, very helpful for us all to understand what was going on. The third thing is to document the memories. Document when they took a walk, or maybe document when they sat up. Maybe document when they had a laugh on their face or a smile on their face. Document that. Maybe take a picture, maybe not, but at least write it down. Put it down in the journal. So documenting those memories is very, very important, because you want to make sure you have that as you continue on and you get better and better and better. Now, the fourth thing that I would say that is very important is to celebrate your memories. I'm a big advocate of celebrating, and that's not just because I like to party, but celebrating memories means more than just celebrating, celebrating milestones. It means more than just celebrating a birthday and celebrating an anniversary, but it means celebrating different things and aspect of their recovery, or maybe it's their well-being and how they've been able to go on solid foods, and maybe they hadn't been on for a while. That's a milestone. Celebrate those milestones. Those are huge. So continue to do that in everything you do. So continue to celebrate those milestones. That's important, because that not only helps you, but also helps them to understand that this is a big deal. And if they can understand that it's a big deal, then they're going to be more excited about it. And they're going to have more of a life to them. And that's really what we want to have. We want to have them have more life. Next is to develop a plan for transition back to the real world after your caregiving days are over? Well, you never know when your caregiving days are going to be over. You never know when they're going to be well enough to move on. But you always want to make sure that you're keeping as many contacts as you can. And those relationships are very important for us to all to understand how important those relationships are. If you can keep those relationships and those connections, don't let them go dry. Just let them know that you've got a lot of other stuff going on right now, and you're not going to be able to be as responsive in the past as you were in the past. But if you can help them to understand what's going on, they're going to be sympathetic. But they're also, maybe they're going to help you as well. You never know. It's important for you to keep those networking relationships fresh. Next, I would say to enlist the help of a professional. Maybe an occupational therapist, something like that, whatever your insurance can pay for. But I encourage you to go out to the professional networks that we have in order to seek out someone that can help you giving care and help them to get better. Help them, and maybe they're going to even help you to get better. And they're going to help you to understand how you can best help them in terms of the exercises and all that goes into that. So that's another important aspect of being a good caregiver, is to understand that you need to reach out to your professional network. And then the last thing that I have on here, not really the last thing, there's one more thing coming, but it's to ask the medical team about their care. So ask the medical team about the prescriptions that they're taking that you probably don't even know about, or ask them about the different interactions with different drugs and things of that nature. So having a conversation with that medical team is going to help you to understand their prognosis. It's going to help you to understand their prescriptions, but it's also going to help you to understand where things go, and what kind of timeline should we be looking at. So you don't want to be too anxious. You don't want to be too laid back, but you want to make sure that you know what's going on as a caregiver. And then the final thing that I would say that we all need to understand as we're caregivers is to use this. It's a thank you note. Thank those people that have helped you over the years, over the days and weeks, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long it is. But reach out to them and let them know how much they're appreciated. With our handwritten note, that'll go a long, long way. So I want to encourage you today to do all those things. Remember, take good care of yourself. Journal. Document memories. Document the memories. Celebrate the milestones, and then plan for a transition back to life after caregiving. And then the next thing is to enlist professional help, like an occupational therapist, and then ask the medical team about their medical care. That's going to help you an awful lot. And then finally, the thank you notes. That's the eighth thing, is to understand those thank you notes are so important for us all to give thanks to the people that are giving us care. Whether they're giving us care from a direct support professional perspective or whatever it is, just understand how important it is to recognize them, because that makes their day. And not only does it make their day, but it makes yours as well, because then you become an encourager. And encouragers are the best. I love encouragers. I love them, and I love you too. Thank you so much for being on here today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being on and listening. If you're listening to this live, put in hashtag live. If you're listening to this on replay, put in hashtag replay. Just let me know you're out there. And as always, keep one eye on the road. Bye.